Hello and welcome back to another episode of One Kick from Glory. I'm wearing blue and I'm joined by Matthew.
What's up?
But just for the record, I'm still an Arsenal fan. This is Arsenal blue. I'm not in a Chelsea kit. But we did want to talk about the start to the season. Of course, there's been a lot of games played so far. I think we're up to game week 4 now. Some exciting results there, depending on which team you support. But I wanted to talk to you first, Matthew, about looking at Arsenal's start to the season. Looking at it, I guess, from an outsider, how do you feel like the fans should feel about this beginning?
I'll be pretty happy right now. 3 wins, 3 games, 3 out of 3, 100%, 3 points. Your players seem to be almost seems like he's, in the first 3 games at least, to have found what he was looking for, especially with your acquisitions from like Jesus and Zinchenko, and just the overall improvement and maybe letting go of certain players over time to help them boost the squad, allow them to go out and express themselves a little bit more. But particularly those 2 winners right there who know how to, compete on a mega high level, who have winning drummed into them like constantly, I think can help some players, because we've never said that your players are not very, very good. It just maybe that lack of a winning mindset and mentality might be missing. And so far in these 3 games, we've seen that even the players around you, like in your last game against Bournemouth, likes of Odegaard stepping up. Was it Saliba scoring that really wonder goal? I mean, having someone like him in the team as well is going to be a very big difference. Just like not having him last year. But again, like I said, it's 3 games. Let's not get carried away. But it's a stark contrast to last year when you were struggling to get rid of players like Willian, and now you have players. Now you have Jesus. What a difference 12 months can make. And rather than 3 defeats, it's 3 wins.
I agree.
And he seems to be getting stronger and stronger for for each game. So I'll be happy right now.
Yeah, I mean it's been an amazing feel good theme around the club, and just in general, I think it's been fascinating how many more Arsenal shirts you see out and about.
Oh yeah.
Like the other day, I was driving through Watford to go somewhere else, and I saw so many shirts as I was passing through. Just generally, there seems to be a happy buzz. Obviously, with Arsenal and Arsenal fans, we know that if fixtures change and results go against us, how is the sentiment going to be? Are we still going to be on board with what's going on? I do think All or Nothing has made a massive difference to fan sentiment. I think it's helped galvanise the supporters behind the players. And I say the ones that were on the fence. I think the ones that were always supporting the manager have felt justified, because almost like this has helped to bear out what he's been trying to do. So I think that was really good. But I'm going to shift away from Arsenal for a little bit. I want to go across to Chelsea now, because you've had an interesting start to the season.
Very.
We said a lot about Todd Boehly and his splashing the cash, and how it's always a risky strategy. It might not always work out the way you want. Some deals may be good, some deals may be bad. But the thing I really want to touch on for you is your game against Spurs. We both don't like them for different reasons. Terrible club. But Anthony Taylor.
Aha.
There was a lot of threads online and people saying that there is something questionable about his refereeing, especially when it comes down to your games. I saw a compilation video of some questionable decision making. Fortunately, the results haven't always gone against you. You've been able to overcome his incompetence. But that game particularly, you weren't able to. Talk me through your history of Anthony Taylor and why in this match it was the biggest problem for you all.
Because, I don't want to turn into one of those fans who blames the ref for us costing us a game. I'm not going to turn into one of those, because if we're brutally honest here, we had chances to win. First of all, we played great that game. We were brilliant. We were fantastic. And we had chances to truly kill it. Havertz missed a couple. Mount, Sterling even as well, had chances to really, truly put away that game. And even Gallagher towards the end of the game, where all he's got to do is just slice his through. Just put it through. Even if he saves it or you miss or whatever, just make that effort. That one extra touch, sometimes it just gives them more time to kind of reset. Put your foot through it sometimes. That's, don't second guess. Have the confidence you can do it. So I'm not going to turn to one of those fans to say that he cost us the game, but he did give them their goals. The foul against Havertz, which led up to Højbjerg's goal, and the most, Stevie Wonder saw this, Ray Charles saw this, the guy dog saw it, I know Jimmy Joe with his glass eye saw this, my dog saw this looking the other way, but him and Mike Dean didn't see this, where Cucurella's hair gets yanked And I saw it going through, and I saw this on the 95th minute, and I saw the hair pull thinking, oh, we're getting the free kick, great, 3 points. No, and I saw him, and he went away, and I tell you, I swear to you, I was saying in my mind, there's only one thing is going to happen. One thing, and score. But one thing, and it's him. He's done it with Dare. He's done it a couple of times when we played you. I think he did it one time when we played Summer. I think he nearly screwed us over Brentford. I just don't know what it is. What is particularly with him, even the FA Cup final. Again, I'm not going to say that he gave you the game. You have chance. The referee doesn't cost you the game. You cost you the game.
True.
But you want to see, and particularly how you guys feel against referees and VAR. You want to see officiating that's done well, and we have seen it done well. A few years ago, at the World Cup, it was done well. Champions League, it was done well. You want to see good officiating, but sometimes it does feel a little bit personal. And I don't know what he was seeing. I just where there's a human element, but what are you seeing that we're not? Blatant hair pull. But apparently, he said in the rule that if they deem it not threatening, he almost went to the ground.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that WWE was now approved in Premier League. So that's good to know. So the next time anyone else wrestles with a player, it should be allowed.
Yeah, apparently. So that's what. So so we can do anything we want. Was SummerSlam? Did he watch SummerSlam and thought, I like a piece of that life. That's it. That feels good to me. I just don't know. I really don't know. It's not good to see his name next to no like a Chelsea game, and you're like, well, this is not going to be very easy. But we should have won that game. We played out of our skins. Great performance by the boys. Koulibaly, fantastic goal. Put you through. Boom, right there. And a good goal from Reece James. Great goal. And then carbon copy almost comes to Gallagher like 10 minutes later. Put your foot through it. And even then they forget their goal. The game's done. So I'm not going to turn, like I said, I'm not going to turn to one of these guys who starts getting conspiracy against referees. We should have won that game. But we didn't. So yeah, I want to Anthony Taylor. And also Mike Dean, openly admit like, oh yeah, I got it wrong. Well, that's great. Where were you? Where was that then in the game?
I mean, I quite liked his transparency. I thought it was weird that it wasn't exclusive for a newspaper. I thought that was a weird precedent, and I don't know if that's going to be a thing ongoing. Yeah. I do think VAR needs to be a public voice where we understand decisions that are made and mistakes that are made. Like we have with rugby, where you get to hear what's going on, and there's other sports where they actually put it on the TV. Cricket does it as well. I think I think it might be Australia where they use VAR. They actually have it where you can see what's going on, you can hear w's going on in the stadium. So I think there needs to be more transparency with the fans because that will help prevent us thinking there's biases. And who knows, maybe Anthony Taylor he doesn't have a bias against Chelsea. Maybe just the name Chelsea triggers him.
Yeah, did he go? Was a girl called Chelsea? Did he get unknown? Did a dog called Chelsea bite him?
Who knows?
I don't know. Did he have a bad Chelsea bun?
Maybe he got dumped in Chelsea.
Yeah, he got dumped. I don't know.
But I think it's going to be important to understand what's going on there. I mean, we don't want the game to be ruined by bad refereeing decisions. And even just as of recording today, we saw a match earlier with Man United versus Southampton. Man United won 1-0. Congratulations, well done. 2 wins on the bounce. Good win against Liverpool on Monday night. But what was really interesting in this But what was really interesting in this game, McTominay, it's a ball played into the box. McTominay handled it 3 times. Left hand, left elbow, right hand. Slapped the ball away. Nothing happened.
And that led to the goal?
No, they're already 1-0 up at that point. And that would have been a penalty to make it 1-1. So, yeah. Don't understand what's going on with VAR. I do like the fact that they're allowing more challenges to go and allowing the league to be a bit more physical. That I do like. And I think it's making the games more open. I like that they're trying to keep the ball in play longer. Because that's a big metric that looked at the end of the season, like how many minutes has the ball actually been actively in play. So I like that they're trying to let things go a bit more. But I think situations like that, when there's a clear handball, they need to explain why it wasn't given. Someone needs to explain, even if it's through the commentators on the match. They can say, "Oh, we're just having VAR. The reason why is X, Y, Z." Let's have some clarity and transparency because that will really help.
I think just trust it. Trust it because football fans we're not horrible. We're not dangerous. I mean, but I reckon like you said, if you do give them that clarity, they might be more inclined to kind of understand where we're coming from. If you hear them saying, sometimes just having that kind of peace of mind, I even do it in tennis as well, where they'll explain, and I did it at the Commonwealth Games, for the hockey, did it for the hockey as well, where you explain when something happens, and you explain it because it's a game. The game carries on. It's what it is. You move on from it. But I just think having that kind of understanding, I think will put a lot of people at ease.
No, I agree. I think one thing I'll probably even say in general with the league this year, there's always talk about the Super League in general, and yet looking at the transfers that are happening in the Premier League, the amount of money that's being spent. When Gibbs White is going for 50 million, when there's bids of 60, 70 million, 80 million, 90 million for Anthony. When you're looking at all these deals flying around, 60 million pounds for Gordon.
Yeah.
I think 40 to 60 million for Farner.
No, they want
depending
70.
on how much it is that Leicester have agreed to and Chelsea are going to pay. There's a lot of money flowing around, but what it's interesting looking at that. But what it has created is a much more competitive league. We've seen that with the results these last few weeks, even some of the games on today. Teams are struggling against everyone. So I want to use that to look at Liverpool in particular. Like they had made the decision not to, and they have a policy of their transfers. They'll only buy the players they need to fit the certain needs and strengthen in a certain way. But the issue with them now is that they're really struggling. That loss to Manchester United, you could see that they were missing that creativity in the middle of the park. They were missing that dynamism up front. I think Firmino, is starting to look,
He's slowing.
I would even say he needs to adapt his game a bit more because he's doing the thing where, like Kate, like he's always dropped deep and linked the play. They don't have. Diaz is not the same as Mane. He doesn't run the same way. He can do similar things, but he doesn't quite have that. I need to explode off the run. So when you only have Salah doing those runs, you're losing out.
No.
So Liverpool needs to kind of replicate that in their game. But when you look at that match against Man United on Monday, the fact that they lost and how they lost, do you feel like Liverpool now really need to reconsider their transfer strategy and get some people in?
I'm not going to lie, I was talking about this before. This was not too long after the Brentford game when they got turned over 4-0. But I did say, looking at it, this is the perfect game for them to turn around and actually do something. And lo and behold, like I saw the 1, the 2, and obviously Salah got his goal. But I thought, we thought this is the perfect game for them to actually turn something around because Liverpool are not in the best of sorts at the moment. They've lost effectively probably one of their best, and maybe one of their best players in the club is Sadio Mane. Having that time to kind of, that link up together, just knowing exactly where he is, where you're watching that game. Because Liverpool weren't bad in the game. They weren't bad in the game, but, obviously their talisman has been suspended. And Firmino, he's not used to how they link up at the front. So essentially, you're missing out on key moving from Mane. They miss Mane more than they think. I know as we speak right now they're turning over Bournemouth as we speak, but let's not be rude, it's Bournemouth. So yeah, let's put that into perspective. I think the best clubs, when it hits the fan, they adapt very quick. And I know we want to have this model of only spending when they really need to, but when you're chasing leagues and when you're one of the two, let's be real, one of the two teams who can actually go and get the league in this year, if you're really serious about going after it, you might need to be like, this ain't working.
Right.
It's not working. They have the capability to do. They've got the pull. I mean, at one point they were talking about trying to get. I was convinced that Mbappe might go there because he's a perfect club player, or someone like Timo Werner. If they want to stay competitive, because you see now there are no easy games. We got turned by Leeds last week convincingly. We were terrible, absolutely terrible. We lost a game like 20 minutes, and Mendy's thing didn't help either. Easy. You get the games like today, but Fulham weren't easy. Palace weren't easy. You lost to United. I mean, I don't know who they're playing next, but they're not going to have it all their own way. And even City, right now, I think the last time I looked, they were losing 2-1 to Palace. Great game against Newcastle, 3-3. Newcastle did not bow, and they didn't bend over. If they want to stay competitive, they're going to need to be. They have to get dirty. They're going to have to get their elbows out to find deep in them pockets to find players that are really truly up for the task to try and go for another title shot, because it might just be the shock in the system that another team might just come up. There's nothing. You could do it. You could go further. And as much as I hate saying it, because they've done really good business, it could even be Spurs. I said I hate saying it. I hated saying it, but you know what I mean. The power shift is. We could be seeing a power shift right now. I mean, it's only, like you said, it's only 3-4 games, but your impressions are made very, very early on, and we've seen that. Both teams that were going for the league, hell for leather for the league last year, haven't had it all their own way so far. I don't know with City, they're just not gelling, or with Liverpool, they're missing that creativity in the midfield, or Nunes just needs to simply adapt to the league a bit more. But definitely something needs to be done, whether it was a clear out or they've got a few more days in the transfer window, but they've got to do something.
Yeah, I think and that's the key thing that I mean, Klopp himself admits that they need a midfielder to strengthen because Keita injury record not reliable,
prone.
Thiago the same, Ox the same,
Keita,
the same. Yeah, they've got too many players that they can't, they just can't rely on, and in their position, what they want to achieve this year. Well, they want to achieve every year.
Yeah.
They can't do it. So it's unfortunate they've had these injuries, but they need to strengthen. So we'll see what they do. And there's still days left in the window. I think even for Arsenal, I think Partey might not be available for today's game, which, depending on who you are online, might be very happy about those news and you might be sad otherwise. But so Arsenal needs to kind of think about what they want to do as well. If Pepe's gone out on loan, we need to fill the gaps. I think Saka definitely needs cover. So we're going to need to do some. I think we need to do some business in two areas: central midfield and the wing, as a matter of urgency. And we'll see how it goes really. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting kind of run in as season carries on. I think for me, you get to game 10, and then we assess the numbers again. Look at how every team's doing. Because right now, I do think it's a bit too early. Because
very early,
I think you're going to always have these little upset games early in the season because everyone new season excitement. A lot of players who played a lot of games last season probably haven't quite had enough rest and not quite fully up to speed yet. With it being a World Cup year as well, I think that hasn't kicked in their minds
against
yet.
the World Cup, they're a lot of them playing for their places. Yeah. So and that's in November. It's like 2 months time.
But I also think maybe it hasn't kicked in yet that actually I need to perform to get my space. So I think what we're going to have is lots of early enthusiasm from the newer teams or the teams that have strengthened really well. The smaller teams in the league are going to have a good start. Then as we get into October. Middle of October, actually, hold on a minute, World Cup space is up for grabs. Then we're going to start seeing some performance kicking in. So I think it'll be interesting. I don't like that this World Cup is at this point in time. I think it should have been a different time in the year, but...
Well, there's only one way to find out, see how it goes.
That is absolutely true.
There's only one way to find out.
So we're going to have to just wait and see how it all goes. But for me personally, I'm happy with the start of the season, happy with what Arsenal are doing, happy with the business we've done so far. Arteta has definitely got something really good. In Jesus, we've got a player who's tracking right now to be one of the best players in the season. He'll be in the team of the season if he continues on his form from now to the end of the season. Comfortably be Brazil's number 9, leading the spot there, and he'll be in the top 3 scorers in the league if he continues on how he's playing. So I'm really happy with all of those things.
Good.
Still early days. Tottenham are still there and thereabouts, doing what they need to be doing.
It's being annoying.
Such an annoying club, man. Anyway. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. And as for you guys, getting a good result so far today. So if that continues, then...
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Get a striker. Get a full-blown, pure blood, balls to the wall, 100% pure, nothing on the brain striker. Stop with this false nonsense.
Who would you go for?
That's the thing. It's tough, but we were tracking Aubameyang for a while. And we still kind of are. I don't know if the deal's kind of fell through a little bit.
I've heard that Man United are potentially going to bid for him as well.
If you were him, where would you go?
Honestly,
because you had him.
It depends. Well, it depends on. It's a hard one, really, because to be honest, I don't think either of your systems work with how he plays as a striker anymore. If he's going to go to Chelsea, it has to be off the assurances that he's not going to get involved in build-up. He's just going to be there to sweep the ball home. I know at Barca, I know he can do a bit outside the box, but primarily you want him to be on the end of things.
That's what we need.
Finishing.
Just be on that bit there. You don't have to. Just be on that bit there, be ready. Because we got the players that can do that for you. We got the players that can do the back and forth. You don't need to do that. I know you're on the... But we also said that a while back that, to get strikers like that, you're looking at ones that are over 30. So we can't really be... And if you're really on
it's a tough one, yeah.
Best strikers, you're paying more for someone younger. Then again, Lewandowski is still effective. Who's to say that he won't be?
Yeah, it's either you're going to have to gamble on someone who is... See, Gabriel Jesus would have been perfect for you guys.
Yeah.
Perfect age profile, perfect ability, and he would have transformed your attack like he's done for ours. So I think the issue is now, looking at strikers around the world, you're either going to have to gamble on someone who's in that 25, 26 bracket. His probably numbers aren't quite top level, but they have enough raw attributes, or you gamble younger. Someone that's hungrier, again, has got same raw attributes, but they're just not as experienced. Or you go older. So if Aubameyang would be a great signing as a stopgap, but you need to have someone coming in behind him to kind of take over. Could be Brozier, but again, he wants to play now. So he might want to go to West Ham and they're pushing hard for him. That's one option.
We could beg Tammy to come back.
Tammy Abraham would be. I think you should go get him.
You got a buyback on him.
I think that's the one you should go get because he would fit your team perfectly.
He would, yeah.
If not, I mean, it's a long shot. Vlahovic, if you can try and tempt him away from Juventus, because it's not worked out for him there.
No.
They're not playing to his strengths. But it's a tough one.
It's real tough.
Because there's not really that many strikers
Yeah.
out there anymore. The pool is diminished. But yeah, you do need to go out there and get someone who can do the job you want to do.
We need a striker.
Maybe a stopgap, or maybe, like I said, a younger player. But you need to make that move. Tammy Abraham would be kind of weirdly in between those age profiles that I'm thinking of. But yeah,
and if you guarantee him a start, because he'll have the World Cup in mind.
Yeah,
definitely have the World Cup in mind.
And if neither of those, cheeky bid for Kane. Why not? Why not? You can offer him trophies.
We
Tottenham
can't offer him trophies.
So why not do that? But yeah,
beggars can't be choosers.
I think we'll call it there for now for this episode. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next time. We're talking about some more games. We're gonna go more in depth. I think we're gonna cover. I want to look at Nottingham Forest, and we're gonna look at Leeds as well. Their starts of the season in our next podcast, because they're having a good run of games, having some interesting results. Forest in particular, because they made a lot of signings. So we're gonna cover them once the window's closed, and then we're gonna talk about all the other deals as well. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of the day. Peace out.
Safe.